Hello everyone, this is ponderonweather coming at you with another video. In this update, we talking about major snowstorms that's going to bring some snow for places that really hasn't seen that much snowfall so far this season, and also some much needed rain for the desert Southwest. So before I do get started, if you do like weather related content, please subscribe to my channel as I will upload daily updates to keep you ahead of the storm. And I do ask you to share this video with your friends and family on social media. All right, so let's get started. I figured we'd start off with the overall season to date snowfall map, and you can kind of see the graph here on the right hand corner of where all the snow has fallen so far this season. And I want to kind of turn your attention to some dry pockets that are kind of zooming in here. This is in the Four Corners region. I do feel like we're going to be adding to these snowfall totals in a big way as we go into the next several days into early next week. And we also have another little dry patch around Indiana as we're getting into portions of the Ohio Valley. And then also really a standout is by the coast, by Jersey, by Delaware, getting into DC and Maryland areas. They really hasn't seen much snow, but I do feel you're going to be picking up some snow by early next week. So let's kind of walk you through the details here. Let's take a look at the overall surface map as of this morning for Wednesday, the 20th, and you kind of see what's really happening. We have a developing low pressure down here by the southwest of Baja. That's actually bringing some much needed rain to the desert Southwest, places like Phoenix. you're actually going to be seeing some snow, some rain into these areas. You just really hasn't seen much of anything so far. That rain will spread precipitation across Texas, getting into Arkansas, getting into the Tennessee Valley, into Mississippi and Alabama. And we do have some snow showers that have just been kind of prolific with this kind of lake effect snow that's bringing in some colder air. So we have some heavier totals from lake effect snow, but that's actually sprinkling in further inland. And these areas are actually seeing some snowfall today as we spread further inland. I think even Philly maybe picked up a little bit of snow overnight. And so as we continue today through Thursday, you can kind of see this low pressure really doesn't go anywhere, and it just sends spokes of energy lifting northward. So along the coast, into Arizona and into Mexico, yeah, you're going to be picking up some much needed rain. Places like Yuma, Arizona, in the desert, they're picking up some rain. And then out ahead of it, we're going to have some snow showers kind of breaking out into New Mexico, into Arizona, places like Flagstaff. We'll start seeing some snow. And we'll have a little bit of colder air trying to sneak into the northwest. But this area down here to the south, you're just kind of being inundated, kind of daily rain chances as this low pressure really doesn't really go anywhere anytime soon, just sending spokes of energy all throughout the day on Thursday. And like I said, that little lake effect, kind of snow machine still kicks in off the northwest and just bringing little sporadic little snow showers here and there. But these are kind of added up in some of these areas in the Northeast. Now let's kind of take you through Friday and kind of what it looks like. Again, we still have that developing low pressure down here to the southwest. That's going to start moving eastward, spreading some rain. Again, more rain for the deep south. And then out ahead of it on the backside, we do have some colder air trying to push in from the northwest, and a lot of these areas are going to be starting to see a mixed precipitation and the Four Corners region as more snow on the backside. And then of course we have a little clipper system again for the northeast, mainly interior regions, spreading some more snow showers in that region. But yeah, along the coast in California, these are areas that's just really desperate needing for rain. And places like Los Angeles this upcoming weekend into early next week is going to be seeing some rain. San Diego, these are places that just really hasn't seen that much rain of all in months, is going to be picking up some much needed rain. As we take a look at some of the hazards that's going to be taking place over the next several days, we can see a band of heavy snow and the Pacific Northwest by the time the 24th rolls around. And then, yeah, we have some pockets of heavier snow in the Four Corners region. We're talking west of Denver. So nothing's really going on in Denver, But west of the city in the higher elevations in Colorado, you can be picking up some heavier snow for the 22nd and the 23rd, and that's extending further south into Arizona. Places like I mentioned, Flagstaff is going to be picking up some snow. It usually hasn't seen that much snow, and you're going to be adding to those totals in a big way, especially as we go into early next week. But you can see the surge from the south. We got a strong southwest wind, and that's going to be picking up some rain, if not heavier rains, and potentially flooding rains. And we might even be dealing with some severe weather threat by then, as well as this stronger upper level low starts moving closer. But yeah, out ahead of it, just kind of all throughout the week. I mean, the 21st to the 22nd for tomorrow into going into Friday, we'd be talking some heavier rains down here further south into Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. And that system will continue lifting northward, spreading some heavier rains into Arkansas, going into Tennessee, getting into Kentucky, into West Virginia. So if we kind of take a look at the overall surface map, by Sunday, you can see what's really kind of happening by the 24th. That's where we kind of showed some of these heavier snows starting to filter in from the northwest. You're starting to see those colder temperatures moving in from Western Canada, and that will filter in further. And notice this snow line you're seeing snow potentially further by the coast that you really hasn't seen so far this season. So we do have possibly increased snow chances. Instead of rain, you might have some snows starting to sprinkle in with some colder temperatures sinking in from the north. And yeah, out ahead of it, you can just see by Sunday, we're going to be dealing with those heavier rains going into the deep south. By Monday, you can see that system that we talked about with those heavier rains and the hazard events. You can see the low pressure. This is lifting northward. I mean, this is a pretty warm, humid air mass as this is continue lifting northward, and colder air presses from the south. So we're always going to have that push-pull mechanism where colder air is going to be pressing, warm air is trying to surge, but who's going to win the battle, right? And so that ahead, we got a lot of precipitation we're going to be working with. Like I mentioned, we could be dealing with some severe weather by the time Sunday and to Monday rolls around for the deep south as colder air presses south from the northwest. That'll be setting the stage for heavier snows as we go into the higher elevations by Monday rolls around, and adding to those totals into Flagstaff, Arizona. But yeah, you can see the temperature difference. By Monday morning, the 25th, look at the surge from the south. I mean, we're talking temperatures in the 70s, if not 60s, further inland. And that surge of warm air can be, warm dew points, warm Gulf moisture, going to be having that lift. And we could be seeing some stronger storms, if not possibly some severe storms sporadic mixed in. And as that colder air presses in from the northwest, here's your temperature freeze line. This will extend all the way down into Arizona, getting into New Mexico. But here's the breaking point. You can see where the difficulty starts to lie, where you're going to have that snow starting to fly into Sunday and to Monday for getting into Minnesota and Wisconsin, where I do think it's going to be snowing at the Green Bay game coming up on this weekend. But yeah, out to the south, I mean, we're going to have to be dealing with that warmer surge. And here's your freezing line where this system's kind of a play out, where the snow is going to start to take effect. And then you have that rain on the south side. But the wind's going to be also kind of prolific by Sunday night, getting into Monday, as this stronger upper level low finally pushes off to the east, creating that lift. And like I mentioned, we could be dealing with some stronger wind gusts of 40 plus miles an hour, get into 50 plus miles an hour range, get into Arkansas and Mississippi by then, going into western parts of Tennessee. And this will continue trying to lift, but be met with that colder air lifting, from the south. And here's possibly the severe weather threat that I kind of mentioned. Here's what they call CAPE, which is your convective available potential energy in the atmosphere. And a normal thunderstorm would be about, say, 500 kgs. This is anywhere, if you can kind of see the graphic, anywhere from, say, 1,000 to 2,000. So we could be seeing some stronger storms, if not possibly severe storms, going into Sunday night, getting into Monday as the strong upper level low starts to lift from the southwest, extending from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, going into Arkansas, places northern Louisiana, Mississippi, the kind of the Dixie Alley area, possibly spread it into western Tennessee, even into parts of Kentucky could be under the gun for stronger, possibly severe storms by then. And like I mentioned, that as this system continues to lift north, that'll start the stage for our possible second snowstorm. Like I said, our first snowstorm looks to set up kind of around these areas where some heavier snows are going to start to break out into the Four Corners region, and we are going to see some snow back here, by Sunday and Monday into portions of Iowa, getting into Minnesota and Wisconsin. But here's that second snow as that storm starts to kind of lift further north. We could start to see some snow breaking out in places again that really hasn't seen much snow. We're talking places maybe South Jersey, places like Delaware, places like Maryland, going into maybe DC could be picking up some snow, and that will continue trying to lift into Pittsburgh, going into West Virginia, and going into Pennsylvania, and possibly central and northern Indiana and Ohio, as this tries to push, but it's met with colder air. So it's going to be very difficult where that line actually stops, right? I mean, we're talking, this is Tuesday, so this could change a little bit, but this continues to press further south, and this low will go off the coast. It's not going to be extending northward, so this will start to extend further off the coast, because it's going to be met with a strong push and a strong jet that's going to keep it further south. So I do think, the mid-Atlantic states, places like you haven't really seen much snow, get it into, Delaware, Maryland, Jersey, DC areas, parts of West Virginia really hasn't seen much snow. I do feel you're going to be adding to snow totals by the time Monday, especially into Tuesday, rolls around, and that low pressure will continue moving off to the east with some snow on the backside. And so here's the temperature line by Tuesday morning and what we're going to be working with. I mean, here's your freezing line, kind of where that sets the stage between, possibly snow and then, a warmer Gulf moisture on the south side, which is all, well above freezing. But here's kind of the demarcation line where potentially snow could potentially fall in these areas. So you can kind of see what we're working with. Here's the latest European model. All right, so I kind of stopped it here. This is between now and Tuesday. Yeah, some heavier snows. I mean, Flagstaff, we're talking upwards of possibly 30 inches, over time with this heavier snows. I mean, heavier snows in the higher elevations. Look at the snow trying to extend further to the coast, at least increasing those chances in that area, but definitely some heavier snows in the Four Corners region. Not really for Denver. We're talking west of Denver, going into the higher elevations, especially into Flagstaff, where you just really hasn't seen that much snow. And this snowstorm that's going to be hitting Minnesota, Iowa, get into Wisconsin, that's going to bring your snow for the Green Bay game. And that second system that's going to be kind of picking up steam, taking advantage of that Gulf moisture from the south. And we could see a transition of some heavier snows getting into places in the mid-Atlantic, that really hasn't seen that much snow. So here's the latest European model, but I'm also going to show you kind of a mix, kind of a blend of all the models, right? And so that was the European. So this is a blend of, say, the UK Met, the Canadian, the GFS, and kind of all of them combined. It still has those heavier snows, down here in the Four Corners regions. And then we also have those little heavier snows, again, a 4 to possibly 8 inch pocket into places like South Dakota, getting into Iowa, going into central and southern Minnesota, and especially over Wisconsin. This will extend into Michigan, and that snow line will start to press further south, northern, central Indiana, Ohio. The European has it a tad bit further south, but it's even all the models have have a snow band going into all of Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, West Virginia, Jersey, all of Jersey along the coast could be picking up some snow. This particular of all the blend has at least snowstorm extending into the northeast sections of maybe a clipper system. The European model has it continue pushing further south, and it kind of has a dry pocket for these areas up here. But let me show you the liquid precipitation we're going to be working with as well. So this will be over the next 6 to 7 days. You can see that heavier rain event we're going to be dealing with, basically from the Dallas-Worth area going into a good chunk of the deep south. And you can see the graph on the right here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches of rain we're going to have to be dealing with over the next, 5 to 7 days. And look at all this rain for the desert Southwest. Southern California, San Diego, all into the desert Southwest is going to be picking up some much needed rain over the next week. So that is definitely a welcome sight for you guys out there. So I appreciate you guys watching. Do like this video. Definitely leave your comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel to catch the latest update where I protect you before and after the storm.